The threshold on relational values. Well, hello everybody. Many of you have already purchased my book, and some of you may know that I've written one. But what is this book really about? At its heart, it's about relational values. What does that even mean? To me, it means developing a deep relationship with myself, tuning into my needs, understanding my values, and creating a life that aligns with them. It's about listening, reflecting, and taking intentional steps toward greater self awareness and fulfillment. Quote, my connection with astrological archetypal language is deeply tied to relational values. By examining harmonics and exploring astrological positions, we can observe and correlate the interplay of the classical quadrivium numbers, geometry, harmonics, and planetary bodies. Rooted in Pythagorean thought and later formalized by medieval scholars, these principles provide a framework for understanding reality and validating the logic behind physical phenomena. This knowledge can serve as a platform for interpreting the archetypes embedded in the depths of the psyche. Astrology, the logos, or discourse about the stars, is a language of numbers, harmonics, and planetary cycles, interpreted through myth. The archetypes, archetypon, are primal forms through which humanity mirrors its own experiences and predicaments. Astrology also serves as a validator, bridging space, geometry, and time harmonics to determine the nature of physis and physics of our reality. Pragmatico Tita. Monica Bravo, The Nature of Reality, Relational Values, Language, page 12. End of quote. This article reflects on our personal and collective journey at a significant threshold, highlighting the balsamic energy of release and preparation for new beginnings. The role of harmonics and relational values in understanding cycles of connection and the impactful 2025 transits, including the North Node's passage through Aries and Pisces, Venus and Mercury retrogrades, and the Saturn Neptune conjunction. It also examines the unique astrological influences on the early 1990s generation, shaped by the Saturn Neptune Uranus North Node conjunction. Ultimately, it emphasizes relationships, how we gracefully close chapters, embrace new beginnings with courage, and trust the process even when the path ahead isn't clear. So let's begin. Before I enter into the heart of today's article, I'm excited to share some great news. My book, The Nature of My Reality, is now available in all digital formats, and I'm just finishing recording the final chapters to release it as an audiobook. I'm offering a special bundle that includes the physical book on sale until December 31st, the audiobook, and a PDF/EPUB version for your tablets. Purchase before Christmas, and I'll send a certificate with early access to the files, which will be ready by the end of December. It's a perfect holiday gift for those seeking wisdom and fresh insights. Send me a DM if you liked a free chapter of the audiobook. The usual suspect of links follow: subscriptions, pay in bulk, and save or buy my book. Message me some readings, mentorship, study groups links, and I also facilitate Bitcoin study groups. Paid content below here. Thresholds mark moments of potential transformation, a space between the known and the unknown. These spaces invite reflection and courage as we step into uncharted territory. Phases. Discovering relational values has shaped my understanding of who I am, what I'm doing, and where I'm going. This journey hasn't just been about looking inward. It emerges as a practice of sharing what I've learned so others might forge connections with my experiences and find their own inspiration to grow. In my book, I explore the quadrivium, the ancient study of arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy, as a vital starting point for understanding the nature of my reality. As someone who feels deeply and processes the world emotionally, these tools have profoundly transformed my perspective. My approach is holistic. I work with precise astrological data, observing how geometric relationships create resonating or dissonating aspects, which are then validated by time cycles. I assign mythological and psychological meanings to these aspects to support my process of inquiry based on evolutionary astrology and human design paradigms. That is why I invested time writing and recording my thoughts so I can share these insights with you. My hope is that through my work, you might feel encouraged to deepen your connection with your own needs, values, and inner world. In doing so, perhaps you too will discover a sense of sovereignty and empowerment through this practice and process. Quote, the aspect is a living reality, a combination of energies, not an isolated event. The conjunction, for instance, does not mean simply a coming together, but a synthesis of two energies which will unfold and integrate over time. Then Rudyard, the planetary aspects. How we learn. Think back to school. How were we taught? Often it was through images, metaphors, or stories that formed relational connections in our minds. It's fascinating when you think about it. Our understanding of reality often begins with how we've been taught to perceive it. Now, if you were anything like me in school, staying focused wasn't always easy. I was one of those distracted kids, tuning in only to the things I liked. Sometimes it wasn't even the subject itself that lost me. It could be the tone of the teacher's voice, what they were wearing, or how I was feeling that day. Looking back, I recognize just how much my emotional state influenced my ability to connect with the world around me. And here's the kicker, all of this weaves into harmonics. We exist at our core, made of wavelengths. We emit frequencies, and the world around us vibrates. Depending on the frequency we're operating at, how tuned in or out we are emotionally, our wavelengths shifts. Emotions flow just like waves. When we live in emotional dissonance, it feels like being out of tune with our surroundings. We experience connection, unable to resonate with the world. For instance, a balsamic phase in a relationship might feel like the fading of familiarity, where all patterns dissolve to create room for something more aligned with our growth. In a career, it might manifest as the completion of a very long project, signaling the need to pause before initiating new goals. Right now, we stand at the powerful balsamic aspect in history, both collectively and personally. The balsamic phase manifests as a time when cycles come to a close, a period of reflection, integration, and release. It emerges as a challenging energy to hold, but it proves essential for growth. Balsamic energy calls us to surrender, embodying the foggy, uncertain nature of Neptune in Pisces or the 12th house. Imagine standing on the edge of a dense mist, unable to see what lies beyond. For some, this fog may appear disorienting or even frightening. For others, it can transform into a source of illumination, revealing deeper truths if we are willing to trust our intuition. But here's the challenge. Many of us struggle to close chapters with intention. The impulse to start something new often overshadows the need to reflect, integrate, and make meaningful closures. This can leave us carrying unfinished emotional baggage into our next phase of life, making it harder to move forward with clarity. Emotionally, the conjunction could feel like a spark of inspirational or renewal, whereas a square might feel like hitting a wall that demands introspection and adaptability. A circle of connection. Let's get visual because metaphors and images can serve as a powerful tools for grasping reality. Imagine a circle, a perfect symbol of wholeness and unity. When we divide the circle into three, we create a triangle, a harmonious trine measuring 120 degrees. Divide it into four, and you have a square. 90 degrees embody intention, action, and structure. Keep dividing, and each division carries its own meaning and energy. Dane Rogers' work on harmonics highlights how phases reveal the cyclical movement of energy. For example, the conjunction when two planets appear at the same point in the sky resembles a new moon, a seed moment, a beginning. There exist two ways to experience this aspect: the dissolution of a journey, balsamic, and the initiation of a new journey, new phase. The first quarter square at 90 degrees bond represents tension and action, a moment of breaking away from the source and stepping into the unknown. These aspects in astrology illuminate the dynamics of connections, whether between celestial bodies or people. According to Rudyard, aspects represent relationships between planets. They are symbols of energies in a living process, and the meaning of an aspect is not fixed or static, rather, it evolves over time. The analogy between astrology and music deepens when we consider how aspects like the square, 90 degrees, and semi-square, 45 degrees, align with intervals in music, such as the dissonance between mi fa, ef, or the tension between the perfect fifth, C G, and the minor third, C E bemol. Just as the tension in these musical intervals creates anticipation and movement, a square in astrology creates friction or challenge, demand and action and growth. Similarly, a semi-square, 45 degrees, or an eighth of the circle creates a subtler form of tension, pushing for adjustment. These moments of tension, whether in music, astrology, or even financial markets, are signals for transformation. In financial charts, these intervals, whether in decimals of a quarter or 0.125 or fractions of a quarter or an eighth, help traders identify moments of support or resistance where equilibrium may be tested or disrupted. Like in astrology or music, these intervals mark times when the forces of tension or friction drive change. As Gurdjieff once said, without friction, no movement. Without movement, no life. This principle resonates in both celestial, musical, and financial realms, where tension creates the conditions for progression. By identifying whether we are in a conjunction, square, trine, or any other phase in a relationship, we can adjust our actions accordingly. In a square, communication and compromise may help overcome tension, while in a trine might inspire collaboration and ease. Tuning into the qualitative energy. Quote, biogeometry is the science of establishing harmony between biological fields and their environment through the use of a design language of form, color, motion, and sound. Ibrahim Karim. Biogeometry, a science developed by Mr. Ibrahim Karim, with whom I have studied along with his daughters, offers tools to recalibrate our energetic frequencies. Beyond quantity, energy is also qualitative, the unseen. Formless energy around us profoundly influences our environments, our health, and experiences. Using pendulums based on sacred geometry shapes, such as squares and triangles, we can align our wavelengths with the natural frequencies of the earth. Tools like BG3 and ECOOP pendulums facilitate this realignment, harmonizing our internal vibrations with the energy surrounding us. Biogeometry recognizes that the harmonizing and healing energies of the BG3, compromising negative green and higher harmonic of ultraviolet and higher harmonic of gold, are created through shapes, colors, sound, and angles, and motion, producing a balancing effect on biological system. Energy resonates at distinct frequencies detectable by our own senses, from the visible spectrum of light to the auditory and tactile ranges. Many wavelengths, like infrared and ultraviolet, exist beyond our perception yet still impact us, just as musical intervals or astrological aspects create unique vibrational effects. The subtle energies of sacred geometry influence our emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical well being. This connection between energy, resonance, and harmony reveals a profound truth. The universe, like music, operates through frequencies that interact with us in ways we can measure, calibrate, and harmonize. Personally, I use humming and polyvagal exercises to shift my vibrational state, promoting calm and balance in my nervous system. These practices, much like tuning a musical instrument, help align our energy to resonate more harmoniously with the world around us. Emotional harmony. Here's where it becomes really interesting. Just as these celestial aspects reveal relationships between planets, they also illuminate the dynamics in our human connections. Whether it involves a partner, a friend, or even ourselves, we continually navigate these cycles of connection, tension, and growth. When we're in harmony, our emotional body aligned with our inner need and external environment, we generate resonance, much like a beautiful piece of music. But when we're out of tune, living in emotional dissonance, we experience stagnation, disconnection, and inability to move forward. Recognizing our emotional wavelengths help us tune to higher harmony. It starts with the grasping the aspects of our own inner world. Where do you stand in this cycle? Do we find ourselves at the beginning of something new, a conjunction? Are we encountering a challenge that pushes us to act, a square? Or do we dwell in a moment of flow and ease, a trine? Does a confrontation emerge between two viewpoints, full moon? A conjunction is a powerful merging of energies, something new being born. A square brings forth challenge and friction moments when growth requires effort, courage, and action. The action either emerges as an internal crisis, first quarter square, or manifests as a crisis that stems from society, third quarter square. A trine reveals moments of ease and resonance when energies align naturally and are supportive, like a harmonious chord in music. When we're in harmony, our emotional body aligned with our inner needs and external environment, we create resonance, much like a beautiful piece of music. But when we're out of tune, living in an emotional dissonance, we experience stagnation, disconnection, and inability to move forward. Electromagnetic beings we are. As electromagnetic beings, we're constantly interacting with the universe's energetic frequencies. Our bodies, composed of trillions of cells with their own bioelectric charge, create a field intrinsically linked to the electromagnetic forces surrounding us. Whether consciously or not, we resonate with the Earth's magnetic field, the sun's vibrations, and even modern man made frequencies. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions shape this field, influencing our vibrational state and affecting how we relate to others, navigate to the world, and heal. Like tuning an instrument, we can recalibrate ourselves to align with the frequencies that support harmony and balance. As we become aware of the frequencies we encounter and the vibrations we emit, we could gain the power to shift our state and create a harmonious relationship with the world. This isn't about achieving a higher or lower frequency, but resonating with what aligns with who we are and what we seek to accomplish. Our environment, relationships, and thoughts all impact our energy. Recognizing and addressing dissonance is an opportunity to adjust, recalibrate, and move forward towards a resonance with our own desired state. Surrendering, thresholds, and metaphors. To determine which planet is closing, measure them in relationship to the slowest and fastest. For instance, Venus closing in on Mars, for example, represents a balsamic relationship until it moves forward, initiating a new cycle. The Sun, as the slowest reference point, governs all the closures and the beginnings. My natal Jupiter, for instance, is in a balsamic aspect to the Sun because it stands at 3 degrees 36 minutes in Taurus, while my Sun is at 6 degrees 57 minutes in Taurus. This period transcends personal closures. It includes our bonds with others. Endings bring both pain and opportunity. They create a space for new beginnings. Think of a bond that has run its course. You might feel sadness, but also liberation, a recognition that the connection has fulfilled its purpose and that it's time for something new to emerge. This embodies the energy of that threshold. On a collective level, this energy plays out in dissolving systems, ideologies, and structures that no longer serve us. Simultaneously, new ideas and innovations take root, manifesting Aquarian energy groupthink, collective progress, and innovation. However, if we lose our sense of individual agency and heart centered joy, the collective energy risks becoming directionless. Without personal authenticity, contributions to the collective lose their meaning. Think of this moment as standing at the shore of a vast ocean. The waves pull back, taking with them the sand and debris of the past. For a moment, you stand in stillness, unsure of what's next. Then, slowly, the tide rises again, bringing new waters, life, and possibilities. Or imagine a caterpillar in its own cocoon. In this balsamic phase of transformation, the caterpillar dissolves into a formless state, unable to sense its previous identity. This surrender proves necessary for it to emerge as a butterfly. These metaphors remind us that the uncertainty is natural part of growth. The fog, stillness, and dissolution signal not failure, but that something new awaits in the horizon, ready to be born. As we stand at this threshold, I invite you to reflect on the connections in your life, both with others and with yourself. What chapters approach their close? What asks to be released? How can you approach the closures with intention and grace? At the same time, consider what new beginnings emerge, what bonds, ideas, or opportunities call to you. How can you step into these new cycles with courage, clarity, and an open heart? This embodies the essence of a balsamic energy to honor the past, embrace the present, and trust the future. Learning from the past to shape the future. The rare 1990-1992 Saturn-Neptune-Uranus conjunction in Capricorn shaped a generation uniquely equipped for transformation, offering insight into our present transitions. The 1989 Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 10 degrees of Capricorn marked the fall of the USSR and the emergence of a new European framework, reflecting profound societal endings and beginnings. Now, as Saturn and Neptune exist in a balsamic aspect this time in Pisces, we approach another moment of societal dissolution and reformation. We will have to wait until February 26 for them to meet at 0 degrees, while the North Node will reach this important point on January 11th, 2025. Where does this fall in your chart? A generation shaped by dissolution. The special energy of 1990-1992. I feel a deep kinship with these souls, having forged meaningful connections with many of them over the years. I, I admire and support their desire to confront all of it and their willingness to rebuild. Perhaps it's my Saturn in Pisces, Neptune in my 10th house, Capricorn ruling my 12th house, and my own Pluto in Virgo in the 8th house that helps me understand their commitment to confront decay and support the dissolution of trauma laden civilization is deeply inspiring. The energy of Saturn Neptune cycle lives deeply embedded in those born around these conjunctions, particularly individuals born during the 1992 period carry the rare conjunction of Saturn structure, Neptune dissolution, and Uranus revolution, all under the karmic influence of the North Node in Capricorn. The early 90s saw Jupiter in Cancer opposing a cluster of planets in Capricorn, and many individuals born during this time also had Chiron in Cancer, conjunct either Jupiter or the South Node. This configuration represents a tender emotional vulnerability, giving these souls the ability to tap deeper into what needs to be embraced from the heart. It also highlights the journey of coming of age as accountable individuals, with the strength and wisdom to steward the healing of this evolving cycle of humanity. I feel connected to this energy as well because my North Node is in Cancer. Even though we have the nodes in reverse, I have learned a lot about how to open my heart through deep friendships and connections with this generation. Their tender emotional vulnerability and ability to embrace and balance their own growth have deeply mirrored my own journey. For those with personal planets like the Sun, Moon, or Venus in Capricorn, this period created a distinct and powerful energy that's both challenging and transformative. For the past 16 years, Pluto's journey through Capricorn has been preparing this generation for a deep transformations that they approach as Pluto enters Aquarius. These individuals came into a time of endings and beginnings, carrying both the closure of a new cycle and a potential for a bold new era. This generation, shaped by the combined influence of Saturn's structure, Neptune's dreams, and Uranus' revolution, and Pluto's transformation, resonates deeply with collective energy. Many step into leadership roles, contributing to innovative fields and confronting the challenges of societal collapse with resilience and creativity. Depth and innovation. In 1989 and 90, the nodes resided in Aquarius Leo, emphasizing the collective versus the individual, a dynamic that echoes strongly with our current moment. By 1991, Saturn entered Aquarius, heralding an era of innovation and group focused change. As Pluto transits into Aquarius, we stand on the cusp of extraordinary shifts. The emphasis on groupthink and collective solutions grows, but as we move forward, it is critical not to lose our individual agency and the connection to our own heart and joy. Without personal integrity and authenticity, group progress and awareness becomes hollow with the danger of becoming a disembodied collective blob. The generations born during and after the conjunction, these individuals born just before this conjunction, often referred as the millennials, carry a distinct energy. They came to a world on the brink of immense societal change and have already experienced their Saturn return and rite of passage that occurs around the age of 29. These individuals have had time to reflect on their sense of responsibility and their connection to the societal structures around them. Now, as they approach their third nodal return around the age of 37, they step into a new phase of alignment with their life purpose. Harmonics and the individual, a personal connection. This energy resonates deeply with me as I also carry balsamic aspects in my chart. My moon approaches Neptune in Scorpio at my midheaven, symbolizing the desire to dissolve, revise, and integrate. My exists in a balsamic relationship to my Sun and my Uranus to Pluto. My Saturn, while in sextile to my Sun, resides in Pisces and approaches the Sun's energy, signaling the eventual completion of a larger cycle in this lifetime. Living with these energies has given me a deep understanding of the desire to close chapters with intention to integrate and revise so that what emerges next feels truly new. I see this reflected not just in my own life, but also in the cycles of the cosmos and the world around me. The threshold of courage and creation. The next 6 months emerge as a profound time of transition. As the North Node, Neptune, and Saturn play out of their cosmic dance, we receive a call to honor the dual nature of this energy, the courage to act, and the wisdom to surrender. Whether we confront generational challenges or revisit our connection to endings and beginnings, this threshold invites us to pause, reflect, and prepare for what lies ahead. It's a time to take what we've learned from the past, listen to the voices of the present, and step forward into the future with boldness and grace. The road ahead may appear foggy, but the first step remains within our reach. What is at stake? The solstice squaring the nodes. The December 21st, 2024 solstice brings a powerful alignment with the sun squaring the nodes of fate. This final cardinal square in the current cycle emphasizes action and decisions that align with our soul's evolution. The Capricorn Cancer axis highlights themes of inner and outer authority. After 16 transformative years of Pluto's influence, we're now capable of owning our own responsibilities and stepping into our power. The moon in Leo opposes Venus in Aquarius during this time, underscoring the need to balance individual expression with collective needs. This ongoing theme invites us to honor our unique selves while we're staying meaningful connected to others. Reflecting on the 6 months ago, around July 2nd, 2024, when the Sun in Cancer also squared the nodes, may provide valuable insights. What did that period bring to you? Now, those themes resurface for review, offering an opportunity for clarity and alignment with your own long term goals. The solstice square calls for reflection, courage, and alignment. Embrace this dynamic energy. You should feel energized and pumping. Whatever happens, whether in your life or in the outer world, you got this.